How's it going, everybody? Now we start Daniel 3. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 3 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, and the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, and the sheriffs, and all rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, "To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages," so everybody on the earth, "that at the time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king set up. And whosoever falleth not down and worship shall that same hour be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at the time when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people and nations and languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up." Romans 2, can you tell elementary? Yeah, a good hour and a half behind schedule. That's what all Thursdays are. "Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonorest thou God. For the name of God blaspheme among the Gentiles through you, as it is written, For circumcision verily profiteth, if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of thy law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision." So again, this is all about how the old covenant is no good. "Therefore, if the uncircumcision," so Gentiles who never got circumcision, but now they're keeping the law of Christ, "keep the righteousness of the law," what law? The law of Christ, "shall not his uncircumcision be counted as circumcision?" See, it's a spiritual circumcision, aka a circumcision of the heart. Let's keep going. "And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision does transgress the law? For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly," so no respect of persons, again, doesn't matter if you're Jew or Gentile, "neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, does nothing for you." Just like today's water baptism, what does it do for you? Nothing. "But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly." Remember, get baptized by the Holy Spirit. That's the true baptism. It's one Lord, one faith, one baptism. Well, which baptism is it? By the Holy Spirit, like John the Baptist said it would be? Or water? Thank you. "But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and a circumcision that is of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter of the law, whose praise is not of men, but of God." What advantage then hath the Jew? None. "Or what profit is there of circumcision?" which means keeping the law, the old covenant, Torah laws. "Much every way, chiefly," remember Jesus rent that in two, said he would rebuild the temple in 3 days, rebuild the church under the law of Christ, "because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?" And bum, ba, da, bum. In the New Living, that read, "Yes, there are great benefits. First of all, the Jews were entrusted with the whole revelation of God. True, some of them were unfaithful, but just because they were unfaithful, does that mean God will be unfaithful?" So that was tough to decipher when I got into that in the King James. So he's going to tell us the story. So we'll get to the rest tomorrow. I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.